Friends, welcome to Global Online University. Friends, for your upcoming AP Set examination, in this video we have combined all our teaching aptitude videos. If you haven't seen our earlier videos on teaching aptitude, and this video is helpful to you, friends, and also I would like to remind you about our 20 mock test for paper 1 available only at rupees 499. Here the questions, answers, explanation will be in English and also in Telugu. Friends, these 20 mock tests are very helpful to boost your paper 1 preparation. Sometimes we lose qualifying AP Cent in 2 to 4%. So these mock tests are very helpful to bring more marks in your paper 1. And also friends, with this we are providing you 1000 MCQs for paper 1. Okay, here 100 MCQs will be provided on each unit. Okay, so you totally will be prepared for 3000 MCQs here. I think this is enough preparation for paper 1. If you give this 20 tests plus if you prepare for this 1000 MCQs, then enough preparation will be done for paper 1. Here the MCQs will be in English and also in Telugu, and you can also download all the 20 tests plus 1000 MCQs in PDF format with answers and solutions. And once if you subscribe to these tests and 1000 MCQs, you will be added to our paid WhatsApp group. And to join for this test, you can contact to this number. The number is displayed on the screen, and in this WhatsApp group we are providing you the test links, and we will give you the PDF, and you can discuss on MCQs and all. So friends, let us move to the questions. An example of scientific knowledge is option A, authority of the prophet or great man. Option B, social traditions and customs. Option C, religious scriptures. Option D, laboratory and field experiments. Friends, here the right answer about scientific knowledge is option D, laboratory and field experiment is the correct answer. Please remember the answer. The right answer is laboratory and field experiments. This is true about the scientific knowledge. Let us move to the next question. A research problem is feasible only when option A, it is researchable. Option B, it is new and adds something to knowledge. Option C, it has utility and relevance. Option D, all of the above. Here the right answer is option D, all of the above are true about the research problem. Research problem, it is researchable and it is new and it will add something to the knowledge, and it has utility and also it has relevance. So option D is the right answer. The next question is, which of the following term explains the idea that knowledge comes from experience? Option A, rationalism. Option B, empiricism. Option C, logic. Option D, deduction. The right answer is option C, logic. The knowledge comes from experience. It is logic. So the next question is, which of the following is a primary source of data? Primary data are collected by the researcher. First hand data. Okay, these data are also known as the first hand data. Okay, option A, personal records, letters, diaries, autobiographies, wills, official records, government records, information preserved by social religious organizations. Option C, oral testimony, traditions and customs. Option D, all of the above. Yes friends, all of these personal records, letters, diaries, official records, documents, all oral testimony, these are all primary source of data. So option D is the right answer. Let us move to the next question. The quality of research is judged by the option A, relevance of research. Option B, methodology adopted in conducting the research. Option C, depth of research. Option D, experience of researcher. Here the right answer is option B, methodology adopted in conducting the research. The quality of research is judged by the methodology. So let us move to the next question. For doing external criticism, a researcher must verify option A, the signature and handwriting of the author. Option B, the paper and ink used in that period which is under study. Option C, study of prose writing of that period. Option D, all of the above. Here the right answer is option D, all of the above. Okay, let us see the next question. 9 years old children are taller than 7 years old ones. It is an example of Option A, vertical studies. Option B, cross sectional studies. Option C, case studies. Option D, experimental studies. The right answer is, okay friends, sorry, here the right answer is option B, cross sectional studies, not C. Okay, 9-year-old children are taller than 7 years old ones. It is an example of cross sectional studies. And cross sectional studies, population of various ages, sex, religions is taken and their attributes are collected. Then attribute is common to a particular group identified by averaging the attributes. Okay, the next question, all causes non-sampling errors except option A, faculty tools of measurement. Option B, inadequate sample. Option C, non-response. Option D, defect in data collection. Here the right answer is option B, inadequate sample. Okay, let us move to the next question. If you are doing experiment on a large group of sample, which method of controlling will you adopt? Option A, matching. Option B, randomization. Option C, elimination and matching both. Option D, elimination. Here the right answer is option B, randomization. Please remember this. The next question is, validity of a research can be improved by option A, eliminating extraneous factors. Option B, taking the true representative of the sample of the population. Option C, both of the above measures. Option D, none of the above. The right answer is option C, both of the above measures. Validity of research can be improved by eliminating extraneous factors and also taking true representative sample of the population. The next question is, an important practical issue to consider while designing a research project is option A, an interesting theoretical perspective. Option B, add to knowledge of researchers only. Option C, availability of time and other resources. Option D, none of the above. Here the right answer is option C, availability of time and other resources. The next question, bibliography given in a research report. Option A, helps those interested in further research and studying the problem from another angle. Option B, makes the report authentic. Option C, both A and B. Option D, none of the above. Here the right answer is option C, both A and B are the correct answer. Bibliography helps to further research and also it makes the report authentic. The next question, what do you consider as the main aim of interdisciplinary research? Option A, to bring out holistic approach to research. Option B, to reduce the emphasis of single subject in research domain. Option C, to oversimplify the problem of research. Option D, to create a new trend in research methodology. Here the correct answer is option A, to bring out holistic approach to research. The next question, the best quality of a researcher is option A, curiosity. Option B, active imagination. Option C, ability. Option D, all of the above. Here the right answer about quality of research is all of the above is the correct answer. The next question is, collective psychology of the whole period is a theory which option A, can explain all phases of historical development. Option B, means the psychology of the whole society. Option C, means psychological approach of data collection. Option D, all of the above. The right answer is option A, can explain all phases of historical development. Is option A, without any specific purpose. Option B, primarily concerned with in-depth exploration of phenomena. Option C, deals with the collection and analysis of numerical data. Option D, none of the above. Here the right answer is option B, primarily concerned with in-depth exploration of phenomena. In qualitative research, it is related to in-depth exploration of the concept. So option B is the right answer. And qualitative research, it involves collection and analyzing of non-numerical data such as text, video or audio to understand the concepts or the experiences. Okay, qualitative research, it involves the collection and analyzing of non-numerical data, means qualitative data, the data which can't be expressed in quantitative manner, and it can be used to gather in-depth insights. Okay, here in-depth study will be Here we study in depth about any problem or about any idea. So this is about the qualitative research. Let us move to the next question. The main difference between basic research and applied research lies in option A basic process, option B sample size, option C utility, option D all of the above. The difference between basic research and applied research lies between option C utility. Okay, it is based on the utility. We can divide the basic research and applied research. So let us move to the next question. Fundamental research is usually carried out in option A classroom, option B field setting, option C laboratory conditions, option D social setting. Here the right answer is option C laboratory conditions. Okay, because fundamental research will take place in the laboratory. And fundamental research it is also, please remember, it is also known as the experimental research, or it is also known as the theoretical research, where it was mainly performed to obtain new knowledge. Please remember this. Here in fundamental research, researcher is going to gain new knowledge on the basis of observable phenomena or fact without prior consideration that it will result in any practical application or use. Here you have to remember fundamental research it is also known as the academic research, and it is also known as the experimental research. Here a researcher is going to gain new knowledge. Okay, I hope you got this. Let us move to the next question. The scientific method can be used option A only in physical sciences such as physics and chemistry, option B only in social sciences, option C both in physical and social sciences, option D none of the above. Here the right answer is option C both in physical and social sciences. Please remember, scientific method it can be used in physical science and also in social science. Okay, the next question is the term phenomenology is associated with the process of option A qualitative research, option B analysis of variance, option C correlational study, option D probability sampling. Here the right answer is option A qualitative research is the correct answer, because this phenomenology it is the term associated with the qualitative research. Okay, please remember it. The phenomenology it is related to qualitative research. Okay, the next question is which research approach is the most appropriate to establish a relationship that is causal in nature? Okay, causal in nature. Option A causal comparative, option B experimental, option C correlational, option D descriptive. Here the questions are also there in Telugu. You can pause the video and read the questions. Here the right answer is experimental is the right answer. Option B is the correct here. And experimental research it is a study that strictly adheres to a scientific research design. Please remember, experimental research is related to scientific research design, and it includes a hypothesis, a variable that can be manipulated by the researcher. Please remember this line. Experimental research it includes the variable that can be manipulated by the researcher. A question may come here, in which type of researcher is going to manipulate the variable? It is in experimental research, and here variables that can be measured, calculated, and also it can be compared. So this is about experimental research. Let us go to the next question. The essence of the experimental method is option A correct calculation of Karl Pearson coefficient of correlation, option B obtaining direct reports from subjects about their subjective experience, option C careful measurement and record keeping, option D using control to identify cause and effect connections. Here the right answer is option D. The essence of experimental method is using control to identify cause and effect connections. So option D is the right answer. Okay, the next question is which research paradigm is based on the pragmatic view of reality? Option A quantitative research, option B qualitative research, option C mixed research, option D none of the above. Here mixed research, please remember, mixed research it is based on the pragmatic view of reality. And what do you mean by mixed research? Mixed research it is refers to an mixture of both quantitative and also qualitative data. So please remember it. And quantitative is known as the closed ended and qualitative is known as the open ended data. Please remember. I hope you will got this. Let us move to the next question. All of the following are common characteristics of experimental research. Option A, it relies primarily on the collection of numerical data. Option B, it can be produce important knowledge about cause and effect. Option C, it uses the deductive scientific method. Option D, all of the above. Friends, here all of the above are the characteristics of experimental research. Here you can see the major characteristics of experimental research. The major characteristics are the researcher can in experimental research, the researcher can manipulate the independent variables and also he can decide the nature and extent of the treatment. After the treatment has been administered, researcher can observe or measure the groups. And also one more characteristic, experimental research enables researcher to go beyond the description or to go beyond the prediction, and he can attempt to determine the cause and effects. These are the major characteristics of experimental research. Let us move to the next question. The type of research typically conducted by teachers, counselors and other professionals to answer questions they have and to specifically help them solve local problems. Option A, action research. Option B, basic research. Option C, predictive research. Option D, longitudinal research. The right answer is option A, action research. Action research is used to solve the immediate problems. So option A is the right answer. And action research is a philosophy or methodology of research generally applied in social science. Please remember this. Action research is going to apply in the social science, and it is a transformative change through simultaneous process of taking action and doing research. Okay, this action research will take place to solve immediate problems faced by the society. This is about action research. The next question is, in a research study to learn the impact of the internet surfing on exam performance, it was found that as the number of hours spent on the internet surfing increases, the exam performance deteriorates. Okay, this study is an example of, okay, if we are using more and more internet, we are giving less importance to our exam preparation. This is an example of experimental research, correlational research, case study, none of the above. This is an example of correlational research. Okay, please remember it is known as the correlational research. When we are studying between two variables, relationship between two variables can be studied here. Correlation research is a type of, and remember, correlation research is a type of non-experimental research, okay, which a researcher measures two variables, understand and assesses the statistical relationship between two variables. In correlation research, the researcher is going to study the relationship between two variables. This is known as the non-experimental research. Let us move to the next question. In a study of two variables, when one variable goes up as another goes down, its value is known as option A, positive correlation. Option B, no correlation. Option C, negative correlation. Option D, fluctuating correlation. Okay, when two variables are moving in the opposite direction, those variables are known as the negative correlation. For example, when price increases, demand decreases, and vice versa. Let us move to the next question. The main difference between longitudinal and cross-sectional researches is in terms of option A, frequency of data collection. Option B, primary versus secondary. Option C, the qualification of researcher. Option D, none of the above. Here the right answer is option A, frequency of data collection. The difference between longitudinal and cross-sectional research is in terms of frequency of data collection. Please remember it. Okay, the next question is, the government of India conducts census after every 10 years. The method of research used in this process is option A, case study. Option B, developmental. Option C, survey. Option D, experimental. Here it is known as the survey. Okay, to collect the information about population for every 10 years, they are going to do a survey score. So let us move to the questions. Here the question is research that is done to examine the findings of someone else using the same variables but different peoples is which of the following? Option A exploration, option B hypothesis, option C replication, option D empiricism. Friends, here the questions and options are also there in Telugu. You can pause the video and read the questions in Telugu. Okay, here research that is done to examine the findings of someone else using it. Already someone else is using these findings, and if we are doing research on this to examine these findings, it is known as the replication. Please remember, this is known as the replication. So option C is the correct answer. And friends, that replication, it is a term referred to the repetition of research. Please remember, repetition of research study generally with different situations and different subjects to determine if the basic findings of the original study can be applied to other participants. Okay, here replication means it is the repetition of research study. Please remember it, but with different situations and different subjects. I hope you got this. Let us move to the next question. The accuracy of the research process depends upon option A unbiased attitude of researchers, option B the sample size, option C the research methods adopted, option D all of the above. The accuracy of the research process is depends on unbiased attitude of the researcher and also on the sample size, how many people we are taking from the population, and also which research method we are adopting. So here the right answer is option D, all of the above is the correct answer. Let us move to the next question. A research plan should be detailed, should be given to other review and comments, set out the rationale for a research study. Option D, all of the above. Yes, a research study should be detailed and also it should be given to the others for review and comments, then set out the rationale for a research study. Yes, this is also true. So here the right answer is option D, all of the above options are right about research plan. So option D is the right answer. Let us go to the next question. We use factor analysis. Option A to know the relationship between two variables, option B to test the hypothesis, option C to know the difference between two variables, option D to know the difference among many variables. For which purpose we are using factor analysis? The right answer is option D, to know the difference between many variables. Please remember, factor analysis means we used to study the difference between many variables. And factor analysis, it is a statistical method to use to describe variability among observed correlated variables in terms of potentially lower number of unobserved variables. Okay, factor analysis we use to measure the difference between the many variables. Okay, let us move to the next question. Hypothesis cannot be stated in option A null and question form, option B declarative terms, option C general terms, option D none of the above. I hope you knew this answer. Here the right answer is option C, general terms. Hypothesis cannot be stated in general terms. Okay, the next question is the introduction section of the research plan. Option A gives an overview of prior relevant studies, option B contains a statement of the purpose of the study, option C concludes with a statement of the research questions, option D all of the above. Here the right answer is option D, all of the above. All the three options are correct about the research plan. Research plan, it is an overview of previous relevant studies, and it contains a statement of the purpose. It concludes with a statement of the research question. So here all of the above are the right about the research plan. Let us move to the next question. The correlation between intelligence test scores and grades. Option A positive, negative, perfect, no correlation. Okay, correlation means it shows the relationship between two variables. Okay, intelligence test and grades. If intelligence test is good means score also Good. So there is a positive relationship between intelligence test and grades. And positive correlation is a relationship between two variables. When one variable increases, other variable also move in the same direction. For example, when price increases, supply also increases. Let us move to the next question. Which of the following statements is correct? Option A, objectives of research are stated in first chapter of the thesis. Option B, researcher must possess analytical ability. Option C, variability is the source of problem. Option D, all of the above. Here the right answer is option D, all of the above. All the options given are correct here. Objectives of research are stated in first chapter. Please remember it. A separate question also asked on this. Researcher must possess analytical ability. Variability is the source of problem. Please remember this also. Okay, all these options are correct here. Let us move to the next question. Which of the following is not the requirement of a hypothesis, which is not needed in hypothesis? Option A, be based on facts. Option B, be conceivable. Option C, contradict the knowledge of nature. Option D, allow consequences to be deducted from it. Here the right answer is option C, contradict the knowledge of nature is not necessary in hypothesis. So option C is the right answer. Let us move to the next question. In which of the following techniques of data collection, several participants including facilitator emphasize on questioning on a specific and defined topic and interaction within the group and the joint construction of meaning? Option A, case study. Option B, focus group. Option C, ethnography. Option D, none of the above. Here the right answer is option B, focus group. Please remember it. Okay, the next question is, a satisfactory statistical quantitative method should not possess one of the following qualities. Option A, appropriateness. Option B, measurability. Option C, comparability. Option D, flexibility. Here the right answer is option D, flexibility. Okay, the next question is, manipulation is always a part of. I hope you knew the answer. Many times this question is repeating. Okay, historical research, fundamental research, descriptive research, experimental research. Here the right answer is option D, experimental research. Here the types of research are very important. You have to study. One question will be there on the types of research. Okay, let us experimental research. It is a study that strictly adheres to the scientific research design, and it includes hypothesis or a variable that can be manipulated by the researcher. Please remember this. Let us move to the next question. Which of the following is not a characteristic of research? Research is systematic. Yes, this is true. Research is not a process. No, research is a process. Research is problem oriented. Yes, this is true. Research is not passive. Yes, this research is active. It is not passive. So here the right answer is research is not a process. So option B is the right answer. Research is a process. And friends, please remember all these characteristics of research. Sometimes a question will be asked here. Research is systematic, logical. Research is purposeful. Research is accurate. Research is creative process. It includes investigation and inquiry, discovery, invention, experiments. Then research into any problem is not the end of it. Okay, and research gathers new knowledge. Sometimes it replaces the old knowledge with new knowledge. Research collects data. Research involves hypothesis or also testing the hypothesis. Okay, these are the various characteristics of research. Please remember all these characteristics. Let us move to the next question. The extent to which the design and data of a research study allows the researcher to draw accurate conclusions about cause and effect and other relationships within the data is option A, external validity. Option B, internal validity. Option C, situational validity. Option D, none of the above. Here the right answer is option B, internal validity. Okay, I hope you knew this. Let us move to the next question. The validity and reliability of a research will be at stake when the incident was reported after a long period of time from that of its occurrence. Option B, the author who is a source of information is biased and incompetent. Option C, the researcher is not competent enough to draw logical conclusions. Option D, on all of the above. The validity and reliability of a research will be staked at when, okay, all of the above is the right answer. Please remember A, B, C, all are the correct here. Okay, the next question is, which scientific method is a top-down or confirmatory approach? Deductive method, inductive method, hypothesis method. Pattern method. Okay, here the right answer is option A, deductive method. Deductive method is known as the top-down approach. Okay, sorry friends. Okay, please remember deductive method is known as the top-down or confirmatory approach, and please remember this information related to deductive approach. Deductive approach, it is termed as the top-down or general, and also it is known as the general to specific approach. In deduction, we start from a theory. Okay, in deduction we are starting from a theory and we are trying to prove it. And deductive method involves following three steps. One is state the hypothesis, second stage is collection of data, and the third step is make decision to accept or reject the hypothesis. Here one example also there, all men are mortal. It is a general theory or it is a general fact. Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is a mortal. It means deductive approach moves from general to specific. It is top down approach. Let us move to the next question. Which of the following terms is closely related to generalization outcome of the research? Option A, external validity. Option B, inference. Option C, both A and B. Option D, none of the above. Here the right answer is option C, both A and B. Okay. Generalization outcome of research related to external validity and also inference. Let us move to the next question. Authenticity of research finding is option A, originality, option B, validity, option C, objectivity, option D, all of the above. Here the correct answer is option D, all of the above. Authenticity of research can be judged by its originality, validity and also on the objectivity. Question is, what type of research would be least likely to include a research hypothesis? Option A, intervention research, option B, associational research, option C, descriptive research, option D, none of the above. Here the questions are also there in Telugu. You can pause the video and read the question in Telugu. So here the right answer is option C, descriptive research is the correct answer. It is a type of research where we include a research hypothesis. Okay, including research hypothesis is least important. So option C, descriptive research is the correct answer. And friends, what do you mean by descriptive research? Descriptive research aims to accurately and systematically describe the population, situation or phenomena, and it can answer what, where, when and how questions, but not why. Please remember it. Descriptive research can answer questions like what, where, when and how, but it will not answer the question why. A descriptive research agent can use a wide variety of research methods to investigate one or more variables. I hope you got this. Let us move to the next question. It is best to use the method of working multiple hypotheses. Option A, during the final stages of research. Option B, while planning your research study. Option C, at the time of publishing the results. Option D, none of the above. Okay friends, when we use multiple hypotheses. Option B, while planning your research study, we use multiple hypotheses. Please remember it. The right answer is option B, while planning your research study. Okay friends, the next question is, the basis on which the assumptions are formulated is option A, cultural background of the country. Option B, universities. Option C, specific characteristics of the castes. Option D, all of the above. The basis for assumptions are formulated. Okay, here the right answer is option D, all of the above. Cultural background of the study, universities, specific characteristics of the caste, A, B and C are all the correct answer. So let us move to the next question. A good hypothesis should be option A, formulated in such a way that it can be tested by the data. Option B, precise, specific and consistent with most known facts. Option C, of limited scope and should not have global significance. Option D, all of the above. Okay friends, which is true about the good hypothesis? Here the right answer is option A, good hypothesis should be formulated in such a way that it can be tested, okay, by the data. Okay, hypothesis, it should be tested by the data, then it is known as the good hypothesis. So option A is the right answer. Let us go to the next question. A variable that is presumed to cause a change in another variable is called a variable which is presumed to cause a change in other variable. It is known as option A, a categorical variable. Option B, a dependent variable. Option C, an independent variable. Option D, an intervening variable. Here the right answer is option C, an independent variable. Please remember friends, it is known as the independent variable. Okay, independent variable means it is variable that stands alone and isn't changed by other variables you are trying to measure. For example, someone's age might be independent variable. Okay, someone's age will not determine your age, so it is an independent variable. Let us move to the next question. Formulation of hypothesis may not be required in option A, survey method. Option B, historical studies. Option C, experimental studies. Option D, normative studies. Here the correct answer is option B, historical studies. In historical research, formulation of hypothesis is not required. So option B, historical research is the right answer. Let us move to the next question. Which of the following is an example of a directional hypothesis? Option A, there will be a difference between the students' reading levels. Option B, there will be a difference between lecture and group instruction. Option C, group instruction is more effective than lecture in the elementary classroom. Option D, there will be an increase in learning. Which is true about the directional hypothesis? Here the right answer is option C, group instruction is more effective than the lecture in the elementary classroom. Please remember, directional hypothesis, it is an example of group instruction is more effective than lecture in the elementary classroom. Okay, the next question is, which sequence of research steps is logical in the list given below? Option A, problem formulation, analysis, development of research design, hypothesis making, collection of data, arriving at generalization and conclusion. Option B, developing a research design, hypothesis making, problem formulation, data analysis, arising at conclusions and data collection. No friends, data collection is not the end process. Next, problem formulation, hypothesis making, development of research design, collection of data, data analysis and formulation of generalizations and conclusions. Option D, problem formulation, deciding about the sample, data collection tools, formulation of hypothesis, collection of interpretation of research evidence. Okay, which sequences of research steps is logical? Okay, here the right answer is option C, for problem formulation. First we identify the problem, then we make hypothesis on it, then we develop a research design, then we collect the data, then we analyze the data, and the end process is formulation and generalization. Okay, option C is the correct answer. Let us move to the next question. In qualitative research paradigm, which of the following features may be considered critical? Option A, data collection with standardized research tools. Option B, sampling design with probability sample techniques. Option C, data collection with bottom-up empirical evidences. Option D, data gathering to take with top-down systematic evidences. Here the right answer is option C, data collection with bottom-up empirical evidences. In qualitative research, which of the following feature may be considered critical? That is data collection with bottom-up empirical evidences. Let us move to the next question. Which of the following would not be an appropriate synonym for the dependent variable? Outcome variable, response variable, affected variable, experimental variable. Which is not an synonym for dependent variable? The answer is experimental variable. It is not a synonym for the dependent variable. All other outcome, response, affected are the synonym for dependent variable. Okay, and what do you mean by experimental variable? Experimental variable is usually one or several of the sample attribute categories. Okay, it is going to describe the difference between the test and the control samples. For example, disease. Okay, let us move to the next question. What do you consider as the main aim of interdisciplinary research? Okay, option A, to bring out holistic approach to research. Option B, to reduce the emphasis of single subject in research domain. Option C, to oversimplify the problem of research. Option D, to create a new trend in research methodology. Okay, which one is the aim of interdisciplinary research? The right answer is option A, to bring out holistic approach to research. This is the main aim of the interdisciplinary research. And what do we mean by interdisciplinary research? Interdisciplinary research is the latest innovation in the field, and it believes that the elements of scientific phenomena must be dealt in an integrated form instead of disintegrated form to bring out the concept of holistic. Please remember it, interdisciplinary approach. Here we are dealing with the phenomena in an integrated form instead of disintegrated. For example, student school problems may be surveyed by a team researcher to dig out its depth, like educationalist, classroom teacher, doctor, clinical psychologist, counselor, guidance worker. It gives detailed mapping plan. Okay, this also you can remember here. Interdisciplinary research will give detailed mapping plan of the difficulties. Okay, let us move to the next question. Which of the following is an initial mandatory requirement for pursuing research? Option A, developing a research design. Option B, formulating a research question. Option C, deciding about the data analysis procedure. Option D, formulating a research hypothesis. Here the right answer is option B, formulating research question. Okay, please remember it is a mandatory requirement for pursuing research. Okay, the next question is, which of the following statements is true in the context of the testing of a hypothesis? Option A, it is only the alternative hypothesis that can be tested. Option B, it is only the null hypothesis that can be tested. Option C, both the alternative and the null hypothesis can be tested. Option D, both the alternative and null hypothesis cannot be tested. Which of the following statement is true in the context of testing of a hypothesis? The right answer is option B, it is only the null hypothesis can be tested. Please remember it, null hypothesis can be tested. Okay, the next question is, consider the argument given below. Pre-employment testing of teachers is quite fair because doctors, architects and engineers who are now employed had to pay such a testing. What type of argument it is? Deductive argument, analogical argument, psychological argument, biological argument. Okay, this argument is known as the analogical argument. Please remember it. The next question is, a good thesis writing should involve. Option A, reduction of punctuation and grammatical errors to a minimum. Yes, it is right. Careful checking of references. Yes, we have to check it carefully before publishing. Then consistency in the way the thesis is written. Yes, then a clear and well written abstract. Yes, here all the options are right. So the right option is option A, B, C and D. All are correct here. Okay, the next question is, which of the following steps are required to design a questionnaire? Okay, questionnaire, it is the list of questions investor is going to ask to the respondents. Okay, option A, writing primary and secondary aims of the study, review of the current literature, prepare a draft of questionnaire, division of the draft. Here the right answer is option B, A, C and D. No need of literature while preparing the questionnaire. So A, C and D are the right answer. Next question, to test null hypothesis, a researcher uses t-test, ANOVA, x2 means chi-square, then d factorial analysis. Okay, to test null hypothesis, researcher uses ANOVA. Please remember it. To test the null hypothesis, researcher is using ANOVA. And ANOVA stands for analysis of variance. Please remember this abbreviation. This abbreviation will be asked in the examination. ANOVA means analysis of variance. It is a collection of statistical models used to analyze the differences among group means and their associated procedures. It is developed by Ronald Fisher. Please remember, ANOVA is developed by Ronald Fisher. Okay, the next question is, a thesis statement is an observation, a fact, an assertion, a discussion. Okay, a thesis statement is an assertion. Question is, the difference between the sample value expected and the estimates value of the parameter is called as option A, bias, option B, error, option C, contradiction, option D, difference. Here the questions are also there in Telugu. You can pause the video and you can read the questions in Telugu. Okay friends, when there is a difference between sample and population, okay, it is referred as population means whole population, sample means we are taking only some representative from the sample. Here the difference between sample value expected and the estimates value of the parameter is called as option A, bias is the right answer. Please remember, it is known as the bias. And when there is a difference between expected sample value and the estimated parameter, it is called bias. Okay, please remember it. And a sample used to estimate a parameter is unbiased if the mean of its sampling distribution is exactly equal to the true value of the parameter. Okay, just remember the difference between expected sample value and the parameter value, it is known as the bias. Let us move to the next question. In which of the following types of sampling the information is carried out under the opinion of an expert? Option A, quota sampling, option B, convenience sampling, option C, purposive sampling, option D, judgment sampling. Here the right answer is option D, judgment sampling is the correct answer, because we are using the judgment given by the expert. And what do we mean by judgment sampling? It is carried out under an opinion of an expert. Please remember it. And the judgment sampling often results in a bias because of the variance in expert opinion. Please remember this line. Okay, it leads to bias because of the variance in the expert opinion. Let us move to the next question. Selection of a football team for FIFA World Cup is called as option A, random sampling, option B, systematic sampling, option C, purposive sampling, option D, cluster sampling. Here the right answer is option C, purposive sampling is the right answer. Okay, the next question is, a researcher divides the population into PG, graduates and 10+2 students, and using the random digit table he selects some of them from each. This is technically called option A, stratified sampling, option B, stratified random sampling, option C, representative sampling, option D, none of these. Here the right answer is it is known as the stratified random sampling, because here researcher is going to divide the population, okay, into PG, graduates and 10 plus 2, and he is selecting okay, and he is selecting the population by using random sampling. Then it is called stratified random sampling. Okay, here you can see the explanation. Division of a population on the basis of class, income, education level, etc. is called stratification. Okay, and every member of each stratum has equal chance of being selected in the sample. In this way it is known as the stratified random sampling. So let us move to the next question. A researcher divides his population into certain groups and fixes the size of the sample from each group. It is called option A stratified sample, option B quota sample, option C cluster sample, option D all of the above. I hope you got the answer, because we have discussed in the previous slide about the stratified random sampling. It is little bit different. Here a researcher divides his population into certain groups and he is going to select some groups by randomly. So it is known as the quota sampling. Quota means group. Okay, and let us move to the next question. Area sampling or cluster sampling technique is used when option A population is scattered and large size of the sample is to be drawn, option B population is heterogeneous, option C long surveys needed, option D option D both A and C. Okay, here right, sorry, here both A and C. Okay friends, here the right answer is option D both A and C. Okay, area sampling or cluster sampling is used when population is scattered and large size of the sample is to be drawn, and when long survey is needed. So both A and C are correct here. And when long survey is being done, population is being scattered over a large area, then researcher uses area sampling or cluster sampling. So let us move to the next question. Logic of induction is very close to option A the logic of sampling, option B the logic of observation, option C the logic of the control variable, option D none of the above. Okay, here the right answer is option A the logic of sampling. Please remember it, logic of induction is very close to the logic of sampling. Let us move to the next question. Seeing a very big rally, it was reported that JD will win the election. The conclusion was based on, please remember, seeing a very big rally. Option A random sampling, option B cluster sampling, option C systematic sampling, option D purposive sampling. The right answer is option B cluster sampling. And what do we mean by cluster sampling? Cluster sampling is a sampling plan when we use mutually for homogeneous population. Okay, if the population is homogeneous, we can use cluster sampling. Yet internally heterogeneous groupings are evident in a statistical population. Okay, it is often used in the marketing research. Okay, in cluster sampling the total population is divided into subgroups, and by using simple random sampling group will be selected. Okay, the next question is, a researcher can keep the sample size low if population is heterogeneous, inaccessible, homogeneous, all of the above. Okay, I hope you got the answer. If the population is homogeneous, then a researcher will keep the sample size less. Let us move to the next question. If a researcher selected 5 schools at random and then interviewed each of the teachers in those 5 schools, the researcher used simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, cluster random sampling, none of the above. I think you got the answer. Here the right answer is cluster random sampling. If a researcher select 5 schools at random and then interviewed each of the teachers in those 5 schools, the researcher is used cluster sampling, because He is dividing the schools into subgroups. Let us move to the next question. A representative sample is essential in option A survey method, option B experimental method, option C case study, option D clinical method. Here the right answer is option A survey method. A representative sample is essential in survey method. Okay, the next question is when a research problem is related to heterogeneous population, the most suitable method is option A cluster sampling, option B stratified sampling, option C convenient sampling, option D lottery method. Okay, when the research problem is related to heterogeneous population, then the researcher will use stratified sampling. Please remember the answer. And stratified sampling is a method of sampling from a population which can be partitioned into subpopulation. Then by using random sampling, he is going to select the groups. Okay, the next question is an investigator wants to study the vocational aspirations of visually challenged children in a wide geographical area. He should select his sample by using option A simple random sampling, option B stratified sampling, option C purposive sampling, option D convenient sampling. Here the correct answer is option B stratified. Several articles from the data collected in one large study. Option A duplicate publication, option B partial publication, option C triplicate publication, option D none of the above. Friends, here the questions are also there in Telugu. You can pause the video and read the questions in Telugu. Okay, when a researcher when a researcher is publishing several articles from the same data or from the collected in one large study, it is known as partial publication. Okay, when a researcher is collecting data only once and based on the same data, if he publishing several articles, it is known as the partial publication. Okay, what do you mean by partial publication? It involves publishing parts of your results in different places. It means the same results he is going to publish in different articles. Let us move to the next question. Which of the following is not an ethical guideline for conducting research with humans? Option A, getting informed consent of the participant. Option B, telling participants they must continue until the study has been completed. Option C, keeping participants' identity anonymous. Option D, telling participants they are free to withdraw at any time. Here the right answer is option B, telling participants they must continue with until the study has been completed. The researchers, they have to continue the research until it completes. So option B is the right answer. Let us move to the next question. What is the primary approach that is used by IRB to assess the ethical acceptability of a research study? Option A, utilitarianism. Option B, deontology. Option C, ethical skepticism. Option D, comparativism. Okay, primary approach that is used by IRB to assess the ethical acceptability of a research. It is known as the option A, utilitarianism. Please remember the word. It is known as the utilitarianism. And friends, utilitarianism, it is an ethical theory. Okay, it is going to determine right from wrong, what by focusing on output. Okay, right or wrong from focusing on outcomes. Okay, it is form of consequentialism. Please remember this. And utilitarianism holds that most ethical choice is the one that will produce the greatest good for the greatest number. Okay friends, I hope you got this. Let us move to the next question. Which of the three ethics approaches says research ethics should be a matter of the individual's conscience? Option A, deontological approach. Option B, ethical skepticism. Option C, utilitarianism. Option D, ontological skepticism. Okay, ethics approaches says research ethics should be a matter of the individual conscience. Here the right answer is option B, ethical skepticism. Okay, please remember it. Let us move to the next question. Research participants must give what before they can participate in a study? Option A, guidelines. Option B, a commitment. Option C, informed consent. Option D, private information. Very easy question. I hope you got the answer. The right answer is option C, informed consent. Okay, research participants, they have to give their consent before starting the research work. So let us move to the next question. IRB is an acronym for which of the following? Option A, internal review board. Option B, institutional rating board. Option C, institutional review board. Option D, internal request board. Friends, IRB stands for institutional review board. So option C is the right answer. And here we can read information related to IRB. IRB stands for institutional review board, and it is also known as the independent ethics committee. Please remember this. It is also known as independent ethics committee and also ethical review board and also research ethics board. Okay, IRB, it is the type of committee that applies research ethics by reviewing the methods proposed for research to ensure that they are ethical. Okay, to ensure the research ethical. Okay, IRB is going to review the methods proposed by the research. Okay, such boards are formally designated. Okay, the IRB can accept the research or it can reject the research. Okay, then the purpose of IRB is to assure that appropriate steps are taken to protect the rights and welfare of human participating as subjects in a research study. Please remember this line. A question may arise from here. What is the purpose of IRB? Okay, to protect the rights and welfare of humans who are participating in research. Let us move to the next question. Concerning authorship in educational research, intellectual ownership is predominantly a function of option A, effort expended. Option B, creative contribution. Option C, professional position. Option D, level of higher education. Here the right answer is option B, creative contribution. Okay, let us move to the next question. Which of the following is the right of each participant according to the ERA? AERA. Option A, deception. Option B, utilitarianism. Option C, freedom to withdraw. Option D, participants have no right. Okay, which of the following is the right of each participant according to ERA? The right answer is freedom to withdraw. The right. Okay, option C, it is the right answer. Researchers, they are having right to withdraw from the research study. Okay, the next question. A statistical measure based upon the entire population is called parameter, while measure based upon a sample is known as option A, sample parameter. Option B, inference. Option C, statistic. Option D, none of the above. Yes, the right answer is option C, statistic. I think in our previous videos also this question has been arised. So let us move to the next question. So, okay, so here statistic means when we study about an event by taking a sample from the population, it is called statistic. Okay, when we are choosing sample from the population, it is known as the statistic, and group of statistical measures is called statistics. Okay, the next question is research is not considered ethical if it option A, try to prove a particular point. Option B, does not ensure privacy and anonymity of the respondent. Option C, does not investigate the data scientifically. Option D, is not a very high standard. Okay, the research is not considered ethical if it does not ensure the privacy and anonymity of the respondent. Option B is the right answer. Let us move to the next question. Which of the following ideas is not associated with the stance of situation ethics? Option A, anything goes. Option B, the end justifies the means. Option C, no choice. Option D, all of the above. Here the right answer is option D, all of the above. Which of the following ideas is not associated with the stance of situation ethics? All of the above is the right answer. Okay, the next question is, one of the preoccupations of quantitative researchers is with generalization, which is a sign of option A, external validity. Option B, internal validity. Option C, external reliability. Option D, internal validity. Friends, here the right answer is option A, external validity. Please remember it. The next question is, which form of reasoning is the process of drawing a specific conclusion from set of premises? Okay, when we are drawing conclusions from premises, it is known as the rationalism, deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning, probabilistic. Okay, when we are drawing conclusion from premises, it is known as the inductive reasoning, and deductive reasoning is opposite to the inductive reasoning. Okay, the next question is, as the value of one variable is increasing, the value of second variable is also increasing. For example, when demand increases, supply also increases, then the correlation coefficient will be option A, positive. Option B, negative. Option C, 0. Option D, none of the above. Yes, I hope you got the answer. The right answer is option A, positive. Okay, the next question is, a researcher conducted 3 experiments with 100 subjects, each following uniform design instead of one experiment with 300 students. This is known as option A, replication. Option B, manipulation. Option C, observation. Option D, validation. This is known as the validation. Okay, please remember it.